Hello, my name is Pamela, and this is Random Lynn. So, as you can tell by the title of the video, this is going to be my June wrap-up. I read a total of 5 books, and I DNF'd 1. So, the first book that I'm talking about is the book that I did not finish. I still actually have the bookmark in here. I think I got I got 84 pages in. I didn't even finish the chapter. I literally found this book online after my Twilight phase, and I'm still in love with Twilight, don't get me wrong. It's just I have like a huge fangirl phase. Anyway, so I found this and read like the first few chapters, I think, or actually it was probably just the first chapter. Anyway, I liked it then, but then when I found it, it sat on my shelf, and then I decided to pick it up and give it a shot, and I don't know, I don't want to read it anymore. And that is Claire de Lune by Kristen Johnson. It's beautiful. It's like a beautiful book. I mean, the moon and, you know, the chick's face is alright, but still, it's very beautiful. I don't want to keep it, though. I don't think I'll ever pick this up and try and read it again, so this is going in the buy box. The goodbye box. And I get my bookmark back. Yay! Now on to the 5 books that I read this month. I was counting. 5. So the first book that I finished, I started reading, I think I started reading this in May, I can't remember. But I got like, I don't know, like 50 some pages in, I think. And it was like really fast. Like this book takes off at like warp speed. At least it did for me. And yeah, I don't know. It's Witch and Wizard by James Patterson and Gabrielle Charbonnet. I have The Gift, which is the second book, and it's co-authored by a different author, but you can't see her name. You can see James Patterson, like, very clearly, even in my crappy camera. You cannot see, however, the assisting author. But I really love this book. This book is about a brother and sister who have been accused of being a witch and a wizard, and am I going to spoil something? I don't think I am, because it doesn't really give you a synopsis in the book. But anyway, they have been accused of being a witch and wizard, have been taken from their home. I think this is like in time of, this is kind of like a dystopian read. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to explain, you know. But it's a mixture of like a dystopian world with like the Salem witch trials. That's basically what I'm going for. And also, this popped in my head too. It's also kind of like it's words. This book is kind of like a mixture of dystopian worlds and Salem witch trial world or time period, and then the Holocaust period. That's basically like my gist of what I got when reading this. It's a very good read. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but I really did enjoy it. I actually read this for the TBR takedown that happened at the beginning of June, and yeah, I did a Goodreads review, so I'll link that down below if I don't forget. But yeah, read this book. I forgot how many stars I gave it. Oh well. I've rambled too much about this one. Moving on. So the second book that I finished is actually a graphic novel, and it is currently the only graphic novel I own. I don't read graphic novels very much. They're kind of not really my thing. I get kind of confused a lot when reading them. But I've read The Curious Case of Benjamin Button by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I think that in the graphic novel, they skipped over a lot of the main like a lot of the story, I think, because it didn't feel like they gave me much in here. I mean, the artwork in here is beautiful. It's like, it's basically like a red, brown, and gray sort of deal. I don't know if you can see that, but the artwork in here is beautiful. Like, creepy, yet beautiful. And the story is very creative for something that was written like this is a classic story. I don't read classics that much either. But reading this graphic novel, it made me want to actually read the actual story. And to me, that's great. I don't understand how a big man like that came out of a woman, though, but hey. Anyway, this is sort of like, I don't want to say magical realism, but I mean, that is, sorry, plain, that is definitely not possible. They did do a movie adaptation of this book, not particularly this graphic novel, but the Benjamin Button book by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I have not watched it, don't think I ever will, because I know it's going to be sad, so I don't really like sad movies. Sad books I can kind of handle, but sad movies, no. But yeah, I don't know how many stars I gave this either. Their star ratings were probably up here somewhere. Whoa. I did love, like I said, I love this story. It's very interesting. It's very unique in my opinion. I don't think I've ever read anything like this before. But yeah, like, I did a Goodreads review of this one as well, so all links down below. The third book I finished, and I'm very excited because I've had this book for like at least I think three years, I think, and it's part of a huge series, and it's a series that I should have read a long time ago. Like, I was literally a youngster. I was in middle school, I think. No, I was probably in elementary school when these books came out. I'd read the first one when I was in middle school, I think, but I never continued on with the rest of the books. And then there's a whole backstory to this that I might actually do a video on. Maybe one day. But that is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. And if I was younger and I was reading this, I would probably be like humongously amazed with the story and the writing. I loved it, don't get me wrong, I loved it, but it's not something that really wowed me, I should say. I mean, I guess it's because I've seen the movies like over a zillion times, but there is a lot of stuff that happens in the book that doesn't happen in the movie, like always. But I really do love the Harry Potter world. I really want to continue on with the series, and I will, since now I own all 7 books. But I'm taking these more along the lines of like one book a month at a time, because for some reason after finishing these, or at least the first 2, I feel kind of slumpy in my reading, and I don't know if it's me or the book or what it is, but yeah. For those of you who don't know, and you probably should, Harry Potter is about a young boy who gets a letter one day telling him that he is a wizard. And he goes off to this school, makes friends, meets villains, meets, like, bullies, I guess you can say. And it's all about, it's kind of weird to say, but it's kind of like a young, what word am I looking for? Probably not looking for supernatural, but anyway. It's kind of like a coming of age story in like this fantasy world, which is really kind of nice. But, my Goodreads reviews, link down below, like I said, for all the rest of them. The 4th book that I completed this month, I dreaded finishing this book. I started reading it like, I don't even know. Was it March? I think it was March when I started reading this book. Or it might have been May. No, it definitely wasn't May. I don't know. But I had been halfway through with this book for a good long time, and I was like, you know what, I need to finally just finish it. No matter what my feelings will be at the end, I need to finish it. And that book is The Death Cure by James Patterson. Not a lot of people like this book series. I love it. There's a lot of... The second book kind of like, for me, was kind of like little, like bumpy in the road. This is kind of a wave, but it was very bumpy. And this one was a little bumpy as well at the beginning, but near the end there was a lot of action. It's like a very action-packed series, in my opinion. All of this talk is my opinion. But I do, I love this series. This is like next to Twilight phase fandom love right here. I mean, I'm not going to go on and write fan fiction like I did with Twilight. Never again. No. But it definitely is very high up there. Especially, it's very emotional. I cried reading the first book and also reading this book. There's a lot of feels in this series. If you're looking for a feely book, yeah. This is a post-apocalyptic novel based, and I don't even know what time period. There is, like, I think it was in the first book, it was kind of like a dated or something. But it's just, like, okay, it's back here too. It's, the date for this says 2/32.4.10. And I don't know how to sum that up as to a year thing. Maybe it's 232 years after the solar flares hit. I don't know. Maybe it's 10 years. Pretty sure it's like 232 years, but that's just a long time. Anyway, so this is the third and final book in the Maze Runner series. I have not yet read The Kill Order, but I do plan on reading it sometime soon. I'll probably end up pushing it off to August because there's a lot of books, or actually one book that's going to take up my entire month of July reading, and then 2 readathons for July. But this series was very, like I said, it's very emotional for me. I don't know why. I've never picked up a book and read it and then literally had to put it down and wipe my face off because I could not see because I was crying so much. That's how much emotional impact this story had on me. Don't know why, because, you know, it's a good possibility that a lot of what happened in this series could eventually happen to us. I mean, it's not like a zombie apocalypse, you know, where there are cranks in here. But, you know, that could be anything, really. A flesh-eating virus, which is actually real, which is gross. It's, don't look it up. No. Anyway. I'm really taking so long with this. But yeah, like I said, with all my books, my Goodreads review, link down below if you want to know more of my thoughts. I'll probably, hopefully, be more prepared for my July wrap-up. I'm new. Forgive me, please. And then the final book, which is actually a book that I finished the last day of June, and that is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, the first book in the Chronicles of Narnia series. There's a lot of debate around how you're supposed to read this series. They re-released it like some time ago where the books are in a different order. This is the original order. This is like, I think, the first publishing, or the first book or whatever, the first edition. Words. They're just poof. But I really loved it. But like I say in my Goodreads review, link down below, it kind of was like my experience with the Harry Potter, with the Harry Potter. It probably would have been a lot more fun. Well, I don't know, because I really did enjoy it. And it was really a fun read, and the story was beautifully written, and the characters were beautifully written. They were beautifully, like, described. I mean, the imagery in here is very, like, oh, I don't know. But reading this, even though I have seen the movie, there are a lot of scenes in here that aren't in the movie, and there are a lot of scenes in the movie that aren't in the book. So my mind is kind of switching between, you know, this story and like the movie, which I haven't seen in like years, but still remember. This is just a very good read, and if you've got younger siblings, or you just want to try middle grade, I recommend picking up either the Harry Potter series or the Chronicles of Narnia series. It's very action-packed as well. It doesn't have as much action as, say, the Harry Potter series, but it's very, I don't know, there's a lot of magical realism in here as well. Hair. I don't know, this book is like just all over the place. Much like this wrap-up, which I'm going to end here. So, these are the books that I got through this month. I'm hoping to get through a little bit more next month. My goal is to read actually maybe 6 books. Doubt that'll happen, but since there are 2 readathons going on next month, hopefully I will get through more books than I did this month. I'm currently 1 book ahead of my Goodreads reading challenge, so small victory for me. Anyway, I know I'm weird. My videos aren't going to be, you know, very laid back and professor-like and literal. I'm not a literature. I'm not an English major. But I do love reading, and I don't think you have to have a degree in writing to love reading, or to talk about books. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, this video is ending for reals. Bye!